Hey everybody, today we are checking out the Flair 58X, which is a fully manual, non-electric, or rather electric-capable lever machine. Now this is actually the upgraded version, and I say upgraded because it's got little bits and pieces on it which actually make it more difficult to break. And I say more difficult to break, if I'm completely honest with you. The original Flair 58, about a year or so ago, I broke 2 of them. And the way that I broke them is now impossible to do with this upgraded version because it's all in the piston assembly up here. Now, before we get into making an espresso and saying what's cool about this machine, I'd like to show you the unboxing and the assembly. So we have the tamper, which is actually quite cool inox base. We've got the portafilter which has got this cool wood handle, and here hiding in the bottom of the box is our puck screen, which is actually a shower head for the Flair, but we'll get into that later. Then we've got the brew chamber, which we will plug onto the base after we have assembled it, and the piston with the some upgraded elements inside there. We've got the lever assembly. Now what's cool is you see the lever assembly has got this nice rubber handle on it and the wood tips which match those on the portafilter, which is very cool. We have our screws, we will come to those in a moment, and we have our base. We are going to assemble all of this, and there is a trick to it. You put the handle assembly on a table using the brew element as a base. Then you line up the base on the back element and you start to screw in the holes. You screw them both in at the same time, doing one and then the other bit by bit. Don't put one all the way through and then the other one all the way tighten. And then once you've got them almost matched up, you can tighten both of them up. And if you do like this, you will see what I did, which is that the handle is not straight. The whole point of doing this at the same time is for the handle to be straight. So the best way to manage it then is to take the machine to the edge of a table, unscrew both screws a little bit, then from the edge of the table, align up the handle and tighten both screws at the same time with the handle being straight. And then there you have it, handle is straight. Now let's go on to the brew chamber. Now to install the brew chamber, obviously the machine has to be assembled, so it's one of the last things you're going to do. Now this is quite easy, it just slides in, clicks in. I recommend putting the Allen key in before so that you know when it's clicked into place, the Allen key will drop out. I know it seems strange, but I like doing it like that. And once it's in place, you tighten it up with the Allen key that's in the little bag. Piston then fits in quite a cool way because there's only one element for the stick to fit in. So you have to put the first element in, then turn, fit the second element in, and that way it can't pop out. And then there's the attaching of the piston to the handle. Now for this, you see there's this little black clip screw type thing. You have to push this out so you can hook on the handle and then push this screw back in so that it's keeping the handle into the piston element at all times. So it's a machine that's really easy to put together, and the parts that Flair have improved over the original Flair 58 so much better. Now, some of you may be asking, why would I get a Flair 58 when there are loads of other Flairs available and the Flair 58 is really quite a bit more expensive? Well, the simple reason is that you are on a 58mm basket. And this really makes the difference because on a 58mm basket, you are on a professional basket size, so you can do all of the cool things like I'm going to do, which is replace the filter with a competition filter. You can use a proper distribution tool, funnel techniques, all sorts of stuff like that with all this professional style equipment, and 58mm shots are just nicer. They're easier to manage, you get a better extraction on them, it's great. So Flair 58 really is the way to go if you're looking at a Flair and you want to get into proper espresso, really look at the Flair 58. Now, like I said before at the beginning of the video, this machine is electric capable. Now, what that means is that inside this brew chamber, piston chamber, if you will, there is actually electrical elements, and you can, through this little cap here, plug in kind of box which you can use to heat up the chamber of your machine. Now, I'm not going to use it today because you can just simply preheat this using a kettle. So that's what I'm going to do. But if you want to upgrade the machine later with a mirror that you can plug, that you can attach to this nice element on the side so that you can watch your bottomless extractions looking perfect, you can do that. There are scales which are made to fit perfectly into this drip tray. I'm going to use my own scale today, so that's perfectly fine as well. And obviously, upgrading the filter is something that you definitely need to do, because I'm sorry to say, but the standard filter that is delivered with the machine is not that great. Perfect to start with, replace it quickly. How about we get on with an extraction? Okay, so let's talk you through my setup and my recipe that I'm pulling on the Flair 58. So, Flair, barista scale, grinder, hand grinder that is able to do espresso type grind. So I'm really quite fine on the hand grinder. I've got my distribution tool, I've got my kettle, which I have put to 96 degrees. Yes, it's a little bit hotter than normal. That's because I'm going to lose a little bit of temperature when I preheat the group, which I'm going to do in a second. I've got a cup for my flushes and my knockbox. Now I'm going to chuck my puck screen back in, and I'm going to preheat the group. Now, this is something that you've got to do on the standard 58X, which obviously you don't have to do if you buy the electric upgrade. And you're going to need to do that about twice so that the chamber is going to be heated up. Now, the reality of this kind of machine is you are going to be looking for those gut shots, and the chance that you have and you find that perfect grind on the first shot that you pull is extremely unlikely. It will realistically heat up with those first shots that you're going to pull as you try and find just about the right grind. So my water is going to pull through. In the meantime, I am going to weigh out my beans. So I have 20 grams in, grind my beans. So my kettle I'm putting to reheat. Whilst I am grinding, I'm preparing my puck. Now obviously I'm using a hand grinder for this. I'm using a Decanter MG07 and I am on click 25. But there are quite a lot of hand grinders nowadays that are fully capable of doing espresso type grind. So there's absolutely no problem with that. Dry up my portafilter, make sure that it's perfectly clean. Position in my grind. I do with a piston lift from 12 o'clock to about 5 o'clock, or rather from 6 o'clock to about 4 o'clock if you're doing it the way I'm doing it, but you're not because you're looking at me. And anyway, put my barista scale into drip mode, grab a glass, straight underneath, he's still working, drop my piston down so that I can fill the chamber. Now I'm filling the chamber all the way to max. Now because I'm only pulling a 40 milliliter shot. Now my target is to do 40 ml in about 25 odd seconds. But if you are pulling more than that 40 ml, what you can do is once you've lifted the chamber up is to top up that water there as well. I'm not going to be doing that. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do a 3-bar pre-infusion until I start to see pops on my bottomless, and then I'm going to drop down for a quite slow infusion. I am actually trying to get just into the 6-bar position because my coffee is quite young. I'm a little bit fast. There you go. I am 43 in 20 seconds. There is my really rather pretty shot. Now the trick is on a Flair is you need to flush the water that's remaining in the group. So I will pull that through until I get this foam appearing on the group head. Tack, get a pop as it comes up. My filter is now perfectly dry, which I can knock out. and I'm all good to go for a second shot. What I like about this type of machines is that you can really try for different things because you have full control of what's going on. I was looking at the pressure as I was going through. I'm preparing my grind size. I know what speed my espresso is coming out on. I wasn't getting too much channeling as I was seeing from my portafilter as it was coming through. And I've got a shot which I really like. It wouldn't be for everyone. I really like the shot that I've made, and that's what's fun about these machines, is that you can try different things to try and get the different things out of your coffee. And trying different things with your coffee is really what I recommend that you do if you get a machine like this. So, all in all, a machine that is really quite easy to use, really easy to clean, because I don't have any other cleaning bits to do on here. Maybe I want to put the shower screen into a cleaning bath at some point, get all of the oils out of that, but that's it. Sure, I could spend another 10 shots getting it perfect, but that is the point of this type of machine, to get those gut shots and to have fun with espresso. I love it. So there we go, that is the Flair 58X, a portable, relatively easy to dial in, fully manual espresso machine, and that you can upgrade later to make it electric heating and mirror and stuff like that, which is really pretty cool. It's great to have this kind of machine in a 58mm basket, and it's great that this kind of machine exists because it's semi-portable, I'd say. You can put it in a bag to take it to a friend's house and pull some amazing shots, take it on a holiday with you, and it will be perfectly fine just on its own in your kitchen with your hand grinder next to it, pulling those gut shots every weekend. Now, if you are interested in the Flair 58X or any other machines in the Flair range, there are links in the description below, and I will see you next time. And until then, I will say, have a nice coffee.